For several years after the 1992 opening of the temple, I was privileged to direct the volunteer program that supported church headquarters. As a part of the process of preparing more than 500 volunteers, orientations and trainings were provided. One of the elements of those orientations was a video that highlighted voluntary actions that make a difference in our world. The video, "The Man Who Planted Trees," was a fictional story that began in the year 1913. The young man journeyed through France and the Alps. As the young man hiked, he came upon a treeless, desolate valley that housed only crumbling buildings. There was no water to be found for the thirsty hiker. Searching for water, the man happened upon a middle-aged shepherd who led him to a spring. When the hiker is invited to stay with the shepherd for the night, the two begin a friendship. As they share together, the shepherd reveals that he was widowed and his only child was lost, causing him to decide to take up a solitary life. So he came to the Alps to be a shepherd. The shepherd, Elzéar Bouvier, felt called to restore the ruined landscape of the isolated and largely abandoned valley by single-handedly cultivating a forest. Tree by tree, the shepherd made holes in the ground with his curling pole and dropped into the holes acorns that he had collected from many miles away. Over the years, he had planted hundreds of thousands of trees. He knew only some would grow, but was faithful to his calling. The young hiker spent a few days with the shepherd, watching him work and sharing in the solitude. After a time, the hiker left and made his way back to civilization. The next year, World War I broke out, and the young man was drawn into the war. In 1920, shell-shocked and depressed after the war, the man returned to the Alps. He was surprised to see young saplings of all forms taking root in the valley, and new streams running through where the shepherd had made dams higher up in the mountain. The man finds the shepherd, who was unaware of the war, continuing to plant his trees. The peace and beauty of the regrowing valley helped the man make a recovery from the effects of the war. The man continues to visit the shepherd every year. As time passes, Bouvier is no longer a shepherd. Worried about the sheep affecting his young trees, he has become a beekeeper instead. For more than 40 years, Bouvier continued to plant trees, moving from one place to another. He plants trees of various types according to the resources available and the needs of the land. Thousands of people from cities began to come and live in the beautiful, hospitable valley. None knew they owed this happy place to a simple shepherd. By the end of the story, the valley was vibrant with life and peacefully settled. The French authorities decided to protect the area, mistakenly believing that the rapid growth of this forest was a bizarre natural phenomenon. They were unaware of Bouvier's work. After World War II, the man visits the area again. While there, he shared with a friend in the government the truth about the natural forest. The friend pledges to protect the forest. In the end, the man visits a very old Bouvier one last time in 1945. In 1947, the man who planted trees peacefully passes away. Bouvier made a difference in his world by doing something seemingly simple and changed everything. He never looked back while at his work, but always kept moving forward. His generosity of time and talent brought meaning and comfort to his place on earth and all those that live there. What trees do we plant to make a difference? Through our generosity, we plant trees for the future. We invest in the church and the goodness it brings to the world. Many times, we do not always see the results, but we are helping change the world through our generosity. Generosity of time, talents, and resources. Our scriptures tell us in Doctrine and Covenants 164, verse 9, sacramental living respects and reveals God's presence and reconciling activity in creation. It requires whole life stewardship dedicated to expanding the church's restoring ministries. especially those devoted to asserting the worth of persons, protecting sacredness of creation, and revealing physical and spiritual suffering. If you truly would be a community of Christ, then embody and live the concerns and passion of Christ. The challenges and opportunities are momentous. Will you remain hesitant in the shadow of your fears, insecurities, and competing loyalties? Or will you move forward in the light of your divinely instilled call and vision? The mission of Jesus Christ is what matters most for the journey ahead. Where will you plant trees through your generosity? Where will you bring hope to the future of others?